Hello, everyone. Welcome to a special episode of the Unqualified Film Bros podcast. Unqualified Film Bros. Not experienced lately with hosting. Excuse me for mispronouncing the name of the show. Um,
Mm.
Sorry, it's been like a month since I hosted an episode.
That never happened to me.
Yeah, the folks were clamoring for us. We
All right.
delivered.
Well,
Now
if
you're letting them down, George.
if
What do you have to
Ben
say about
hosts
that?
if Ben hosts the rest of this episode, we are going to end up talking about another Medea movie. So I'm going to keep the reins a little tighter. Um, so we're
There's
back
nothing wrong
after
with that.
we're back after last week. And like I said, we've got a lot to talk about tonight. We are doing a double review this evening with a couple of recent releases. We are talking about From the World of John Wick, Ballerina, and the new Wes Anderson film, The Phoenician Scheme. We're going to kick things off with Ballerina, kick it over to the Phoenician Scheme right after. Hope you enjoy the episode. Gentlemen, Ballerina, your thoughts.
I kind of liked it. I thought it was kind of funny that John Wick was doing side quests in between
I
Parabellum
know, right?
and
I thought the same thing.
John Wick 4,
It
but
just
I
shows
did
up
like
as
it.
like,
Like,
yeah, you know what?
why
Considering
is
I
he
got a
chapter
day to
four
kill.
Chapter 4 picks up right when 3 ends.
So this is
It has to
between
be
two
like
and three.
this is between 3 and 4.
This is between three and four.
I mean, it's kind
I
of
don't know, man.
it's concurrent with John Wick Chapter 3 because you've got that scene of him and the Risk Roma
Yeah,
just shown from a different angle, which I thought was really fun. Different POV.
yeah, Mariska Roma, baby. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, it's got all the trademarks. It says it's directed by Len Wiseman, and maybe I believe that for some parts, but all the action
That's the house he was in
sequences
there.
are absolutely shadow directed by Chad Stiletzky because it's literally just the same formula. Nothing wrong with that. I don't mean formula in a bad way. It's just like you can tell, but his fingerprints are on that.
Absolutely.
Um,
Yeah, no complaints though.
yeah, no, it looks great as always. I loved um all the way that they like sort of changed it with John Wick instead of being just pound for pound. She's like using every inch against her
Yeah.
enemies. I thought it was clever. I will say, I still like, especially for some of the really bloody scenes, I don't like the CGI blood. I understand it's much easier, especially when you're killing like a million goons, but some parts, especially like the explosions, I think maybe you should do practical, but then again, it would look different. I don't know.
Yeah,
There were just some parts where it's like, wow, that guy got blown up, but it doesn't feel the same,
it was
as it
very, I
should.
thought, reminiscent of John Wick chapters 2 and 3, which it feeds directly out of. In terms of the way it looked, very stylized, very. I mean, the CGI blood was apparent, but like just the way that it was presented was very
Yeah. I
on
think it works
brand,
better
I think.
with John Wick style
Absolutely.
kills, just with like the single bullets and the lots of stabbing and stuff. Yeah. Otherwise, I think if you're doing like especially the grenades and things like that, it just you don't get the same. I'll give the one kill where she blows that guy up with the tape, like with the table.
That was
That's
okay.
sick.
I was gonna wait to ask favorite kill as we do for most action movies, but that was my favorite kill in the movie.
Yeah, no, that's probably mine.
That was a great one.
Um, but like just a few seconds ago, she blows a guy up with the door and she like puts him in there, and it kind of like took me out for a second because she opens the door and there's literally like nothing there.
Yeah,
And
there's
it's
a
like I,
hole in the wall where the guy
huh?
had been. There's a hole in the wall where the guy had been behind the door.
He
Yeah,
got
yeah.
he got ejected out of the building.
It's just I don't know. It's a little bit jarring because like that's not how it works. For John Wick, it was always about like practicality and things like that. And when you do stuff like that, it kind of stretches. I mean, I don't actually believe somebody can do all this stuff, but it was always meant to be like the stunts themselves are realistic. which they are, but just if you're doing the explosion kills, like you gotta do that a little bit better. That's literally
I
my
mean,
only
the
criticism.
hole in the
Everything
wall
else
there,
was great.
the hole in the wall there was a little perfect too. Like it looked like
Everything it was jarringly like too pristine for a guy that just had a grenade in his like mouth or whatever.
but then we're immediately
Yeah.
taken out of it and moved on to the next kill with the guy
Yeah,
over the table.
I think it was really also just the juxtaposition of like that great kill, and then there's a door with a hole in the wall. It's like could have done with just that level, but back there, just a little bit more somewhere. Then again, this is nitpicking. For the most part, I love the movie. It takes all the good elements of John Wick, just translates them to a different type of character. I thought it was funny that they made like another boogeyman, the Kikimaru, um, and also that there is an entire town of assassins that live in the Austrian Alps.
Yep.
Yeah, that feels like something they would have brought up in the main John Wick story.
I don't give a shit. It's kind of cool.
In chapter 4, he goes all over the world, and you're telling me that this town of assassins.
Well, he's going all around the world to like get out of his like organization or
What's
whatever.
what's the hit on him in chapter 4? Is it 14 million?
14 million, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it starts at one at the end of John Wick 1, I think, and then it starts to double after that, gets up to
It's
14.
yeah, because I think at the end of 7, at the end of 3, it doubles from 7 to 14.
Yeah.
Because it's at 14 in this movie, and this movie goes between
Yep.
Hmm.
uh, Parabellum and chapter 4. But yeah,
And
I like the
showing up.
movie. I like the movie. I think largely the performances were good. I didn't love Gabriel Byrne in the villain role here. Um,
Oh, that's who that was. Yeah.
he was fine. He was kind of one note, kind of generic action villain.
It's so funny. I hadn't seen Gabriel Byrne in so long.
I think the
I,
last the last thing I saw him in, and I've seen him in other stuff, but the last time I watched him in a movie was Usual Suspects. However long ago it was the last time I watched it, a few
yeah,
months.
whenever I think about him, I always think about him there.
Yeah,
So
because
it's just I just
that's
haven't
also
seen
my
him in
go-to.
other things.
Um,
Um,
but he's done other
but
stuff.
yeah, he's just sort of like a honestly, he's kind of like a normal John Wick villain. It's just like
Yeah.
bad guy, kind of silly, kind of stupid. I mean, he's even got like the monologue at the end where he's talking about like killing me won't bring them back, and then she just sort of shoots him in the middle of the monologue. That's happened like a few
Which
times
was a
now that
very
I
yeah,
think
it's a very John Wick way to take care of your villain for the movie.
yeah, I mean it happens like in the first one you got fucking Alfie Allen just saying like it was just a fucking dog. It was just a
The first and like I think we talked about this 2 years ago or whenever it was that we did John Wick Chapter 4. But the first one is largely self-contained for a movie, and then 2, 3, and 4 build on that story, but they're all one continuous story. And I think we established that the whole thing takes place over what, 2 weeks.
well,
Um,
apparently not. That's what's confusing for me. Or maybe I got the timelines wrong. It says like 2 months later. Was that after John Wick? She meets John Wick or before?
What?
when in the movie was that?
It was like after she kills the first guy. So maybe she meets John Wick after.
Yeah,
She meets John Wick after.
Yeah.
she kills the
No, you're
first
right.
guy, and
For
then
some reason, I was thinking that it was like 2 months or something. But no, you're right.
I don't even remember the 2 months later time jump. I remember the 12-year time jump
It's
after that.
after she kills the
It's
first
a
guy,
20-minute cold
or
open.
not kills the first guy, but protects the lady. Um,
Yeah.
then it's like 2 months later, and she's done a bunch of contracts and whatnot.
We have talked about this with Spider-Verse. We talked about it with Mission Impossible. There was one other movie that we did somewhat recently that stop doing 20-minute cold opens in movies that are 2 hours long.
Also, don't do them in movies that aren't good enough to have a 20
Like
minute cold open.
I,
Like
I
What
understand
what
with
Across the
confused
Spider-Verse and Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning were fantastic with the 20
yeah,
minute cold opens.
but like with a movie like this, we know the world of John Wick, and people are going to see this movie because they love the John Wick movies.
Yeah.
I understand that we need to have some sort of emotional weight to Eve as a character, but
Yeah,
you could have done that cold open in 7 minutes.
you know what?
John Wick did that
I'm gonna give
in the
that to
first
Lee
10
Wiseman.
minutes.
Um,
Oh, of course
that
it's on Wiseman. I don't know who else
that
you would put
drive
that on.
because Stiletsky has never, you know, been one to do that. Like if you look at John Wick, I mean, there is like an opening, but you're not dealing with like exposition on who this person is. Like it literally just starts with John Wick has been robbed. This is after John Wick has done all this shit. Um, you can build that like through the interactions. So it didn't make sense for me to do all this random shit. That's I guess my other criticism is just having the even the girl and stuff like that. It's a little bit too like Hollywood bow tie, like, oh, these things are related. Oh, this is not what the
You want
world is
Hollywood bow
about.
tie? How about the sister reveal?
Yeah, I mean, all this stuff is like to me a little ridiculous for a series that was born out of a guy that literally just starts killing people and comes out of retirement because his dog was killed. It's like it's all about vengeance. They killed his dad. Why do you got to add on more? Oh my God. Just do the formula. It's simple. It works. It's good. If people get
The
bored
formula works
later
and
on,
it's good, but to be fair, I didn't love the story here, and it was very formulaic.
Yeah.
well, that's what my criticism is that this is not the formula. You know what I
Fair.
mean? That there's all this random stuff going on.
It was a
Um,
formula. It was very action thriller vengeance
that's
type,
not what I'm talking. I'm talking about the
but
John
not the
Wick
John
formula.
Wick formula. Yeah,
We're not cooking
we're
with
saying the
random
same thing.
formulas here, George.
But they
All right.
did this movie. They shouldn't have been, but they did.
They cooked with the Len Wiseman formula. That's not a good idea. He loves this trope too. You can see it in Underworld. Everyone's fucking related. Everyone's got relations, family, mostly family. It's like he hates friends. Everyone has to be familially related or related by some cult, or they're all vampires.
They're literally called the
Just
cult
stop.
in this movie.
Yeah,
They're cultists.
like this is.
Yeah, they
It
do.
was really cool to see a town of assassins.
That was
Everything else
But
This
could
is
you
too much.
not have tied it
also.
into the high table?
I didn't mind them having like a separate organization. I think it's cool to have like this rogue organization that
But
people are afraid to just fuck with.
you're still making like Winston's still making the call. We've got, the brewing war between X, Y, and Z. Like it's still going through the same world devices.
Yeah, and I make
It's
I guess
this
I
entirely
guess it
separate other
is
group that we hadn't heard about in the first three John Wick movies.
I guess it is related in some way, but to be fair, it had no bearing because they essentially stay out of other people's business, people stay out of theirs, right? The only reason that we're dealing with them here is because her father was killed because they brought her out of like the society. So technically, this is something that shouldn't happen very often. So
Fair.
you know what? I
Early
don't
20s.
mind
It's
this
true.
this random organization being out there, but just relax with the familial bonds. Hell, just say they're in the same cult, man. That's enough. We don't need a random sister to arrive like halfway into the movie
Like
and die five
set up
minutes later.
they set up the sister at the beginning of the movie by just mentioning her. Like I wish I could remember her talking about the sister. And then we meet that character later on, and she just appears to be one of the assassins in this town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then all
Make
of a
her
sudden, she's got
sisters
this
by
major
trauma.
importance to Eve's life.
No, and then she dies. Like this is ridiculous shit. Len, you gotta get out of the kitchen, man. Just direct. I can smell your formula a mile away, and it's not good.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I thought Anna was really good. I liked seeing, um, you know, the late great Lance Reddick again. I love seeing
yeah.
Ian McShane, Angelica
Oh,
Houston again.
I mean, for the most part, it was a good movie. It's just like at the end they randomly tacked on some stuff that was
Yeah.
completely
It got a
unnecessary.
little too crowded with ideas,
Yeah,
but I liked it, and I think the bottom line is because they're already working on it. I would see a sequel.
yeah,
Yep.
definitely. Just relax on the family bonds. Give her a dog and make sure she protects the dog. I don't mean kill the dog, all right? But that's probably more attachment that audiences can like feel for than random people showing up in a movie.
I think what this movie did well in terms of if it were to add emotional weight for the sequel would be to kill that one ballerina who got out, who she was like protective of at the beginning of the movie. Yeah, like if they
Yeah,
kill her at the top of the second movie, then you've got your story there.
Could be.
yeah.
I don't know. Just give me more
Or she'll be related to
Phoenix.
somebody else.
Oh,
Turns out she was Angelica Houston's daughter all along.
She was the love child between Ian McShane and Angelica
also,
Houston.
what the fuck did Gabriel Byrne's character think was gonna happen when he inevitably dies in like, I don't know, 5, 10 years? And Ella, this child, this innocent child, takes over the assassin town. What the hell is his
Oh yeah,
plan
that
here?
was another thing. Having her be the granddaughter, having her be his granddaughter,
Too much.
and
This is
also
such a Len Wiseman like
Norman
trap.
Reedus was in two scenes in the movie when he was like 25% of the trailer.
I would have loved to see more Norman Reedus
I would
and
have
less
loved it. He was
random.
great.
Yeah.
His two scenes, one, he kicks ass and gets his ass kicked, and two, he's just laid up in a hospital bed. He's on screen for maybe 4 minutes in a 2 hour and 5 minute movie
Yeah,
with
honestly,
fourth
there's
billing
just
in the cast.
not as much of anybody as I thought there would be.
I got about as much Ian McShane, Keanu, and Lance Reddick as
Well,
I
yeah,
expected.
Keanu, like honestly, I didn't expect Keanu to be so much of the movie. I
Yeah, he was
mean,
in a lot.
he's in like 5, 10 minutes of it. He's
Yeah.
probably got second, third most screen time.
I literally thought it was supposed to be
Consequences.
him like
I thought it was gonna be
saying
a
that line in the
cameo.
trailer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when he shows up, because in the trailer he like gets off the train and he's facing off in the snow with all that, and I think they showed two different scenes with him in it, so I knew it was going to be more than a cameo. But you're right, we did get a lot more Keanu than I was expecting, which I'll always welcome. I love Keanu,
Yeah.
and I love Keanu as John Wick. He's probably my favorite character he's played.
He's great. It works so well for him. Um, but yeah, aside from that, not too much. I enjoyed it. Aside from the things that I criticized, the rest of it, it's a fun action movie.
Yeah.
It is a fun action movie. A lot of good kills. Very clear Chad Stahelski's influence. Anna is great in the lead role. We kind of got a taste of her action ability in No Time to Die, but it's
Mhm.
on full display here.
Yeah,
So, as we transition into the second half of our episode, reminder that you can check out Ballerina in movie theaters. Enjoy it, see it on the big screen, support local cinema,
Yep.
and let us know what you think. So, we move from one movie heavily featuring hand grenades to another movie where hand grenades are offered hand to hand like fruit. The Phoenician
Hot
Scheme.
potato.
Wes Anderson. I kind of want to say my thoughts first, but I'm gonna let you guys go. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, George.
Okay, I fucking loved it.
All
Okay,
right.
this is top three Wes for me. Um,
Wow.
After one viewing, I thought the dry humor, the deadpan sort of delivery from everybody, especially Benicio del Toro, um, just fantastic. I was laughing the entire time. Um, I think this is Wes's funniest movie. I might need to rewatch some of his older stuff. Yeah, Ben, I said it. Um, I think I laughed more at this movie than any other Wes Anderson movie.
Sorry, I had something in my eye.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think the cast is fantastic. I love the story and the fact that we go through a very, very clear arc that's laid out from the beginning. The characters have a goal set for them and a path set for them the entire time. And yet there are still unexpected moments in the story. How we get there is a journey that is quite enjoyable. And then just to speak to my love of Wes, his movies are always very pleasing to look at. It's an aesthetically and visually enjoyable hour 40. Plus, I saw it with two of my boys last night and they loved it too. So, shout out Zach, shout out Riley. Anyway, what did you guys think of the Phoenician scheme?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's not in my like top five Wes Anderson movie. I don't know. Maybe have to evaluate after like another viewing, but I enjoyed it. It's got all of his a lot of his trademarks. It's got his very recent like it seems like from Asteroid City he's gone full into this very strange surreal aesthetic, which I enjoy. It's very apparent in all of his Roald Dahl stuff. That's like the most extreme. But he
That was
Yeah.
always
the last
loves
time we
these
talked about him,
monsters.
right? That was
Yeah.
that was last fall.
Hmm.
Was that
But
last
he
fall
loves like
or 2 years
stage
ago?
aesthetics. I think it was last year.
It
I think
was
it was last
didn't
year.
it last like August or something?
I thought
I'm looking
so.
it up
Ah, whatever.
because I know Asteroid City was 2 years ago, right around this time. I think the uh, the shorts were that fall. I think it was fall of 23.
Ah,
Yeah,
could have
fall of 23. So it's been a
Hmm.
while since we've talked about Wes.
been. Yeah, but yeah, I always enjoyed the way that he directs things, his camera style as well. Um, very dramatic, and it's a strange but unique style that he's got going on. It always fits his very abstract characters, their weird deliveries of things. Everyone is very deadpan. Um, no one more so than I don't know the actress, the woman who plays his like daughter slash adopted daughter,
Oh, Mia Threepleton.
Yeah.
Mia Threepleton.
Yep.
That is, man, that is a last name. All right, I will have to remember that.
Liesel the
In her
Nun.
Liesel. Sound of Music.
But she kind of, for me, was like the stand-in for Jason Schwartzman. I feel like she plays the female version of a lot of the characters that he normally plays. Very deadpan, like almost never breaks hat. Like everyone is deadpan, but some people break in certain circumstances, have a little more emotion.
Michael Cera.
Michael Cera is fantastic. This is the first movie he's been in with Wes, and it seems like he was an actor that was made to be in these weird
Oh, that's
films.
a match made in heaven. Absolutely.
What,
Uh,
like year one with Jack Black?
oh my God,
Shut up.
terrible film.
Shut up.
Like he should have never been in that stuff. He should have been auditioning for strange independent movies. But I digress.
I don't know. The run that he went on from Superbad to Juno to Scott Pilgrim.
He had a few. I mean, Juno was independent as well, I guess. But I would have loved to see him in more Wes Anderson. It just seems so perfect for him.
Yeah.
I read a quote.
Uh,
I forget who in the cast said it. It might have been Benicio. It might have been Scarlett. It might have been somebody else in the cast, but saying how they were shocked that it took this long for Michael Cera and Wes Anderson to work together because it's so apparent how perfect the match is, how well Michael Cera fits in Wes's style.
He essentially does Wes Anderson like deliveries and things and all of his other stuff. He just wasn't in a Wes Anderson movie. But it's amazing. Yeah, it's seamless.
They
Uh,
are each other's new muses.
they really are. And it's
Good.
like
Yeah.
Benicio del Toro is fantastic too. A lot of these actors, Wes, he was
Eggers and
doing,
Defoe.
huh?
Like Eggers and Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, well, Willem Dafoe's in this one too. Shows up. There are a few like I don't know semi cameos. They show up for like a few scenes.
Hmm.
Bill Murray as God.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill Murray. That was I was not expecting that one.
Well, he was listed in the opening credits in the cast, and I did not. He was just listed as
I
like
was not paying
also
attention. I
featuring.
thought that was like for a producer or something. I did.
No, they went into the cast too.
No, I know, but I wasn't paying attention to
Oh,
that.
well, that's on you, man. It was on one shot the entire time. You had nothing else to pay attention to.
What do you mean? I was paying attention to Benicio del Toro eating. I was trying to figure out what the fuck he's eating.
Eggs and wine in the tub.
He
This
uses
eggs?
It was scrambled
Is that
eggs.
what were they?
Yeah, looked like it.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if they were eggs or snails or
he was
something
just
like
having a
that.
chill breakfast.
A little chilled white wine.
Yeah.
Got to check
But
out its
yeah,
courses
no.
though.
Why would I be looking at names? I'm looking at the picture.
Dude, you got to like pay attention to who works in the movie.
Oh, I don't. I could do that later.
Yeah, a lot of closing credits on this one.
Were there?
I mean, just like a lot of people work on Wes movies.
Yeah, I did not stay until the end. That's my bad. I didn't see all the people that worked on it. I'm failing
We're
studios.
getting too deep into this
I
this
mean, none
side.
of us knew that Bill Murray was going to play God, so
True,
even seeing the name.
but still, I mean, Bill Murray's been doing Wes Anderson movies for 25 years.
Yeah, but I was surprised Jason Schwartzman didn't show up.
He was a notable absence. I think Asteroid City was the most crowded Wes movie there's been so far. The cast was
There was a lot.
it was a long list of big names in that cast. And I think consolidating a little bit here, focusing on a smaller group of people, obviously focusing on the three main characters, and then each sort of not quite vignette, that's not the right word for it, but each chapter of the film where he's talking to Tom Hanks and Bryan Cranston or Jeffrey Wright or Scarlett Johansson or Benedict Cumberbatch, like all of these different um, pieces of the story, each different stop on the journey for Benicio del Toro and Mia Threepleton and Michael Cera. What was my point going to be? Oh, that they kept the cast small and it kept each interaction, each uh, character sort of face off, if you will, memorable. We didn't have an overcrowded piece like Asteroid City. And I enjoyed Asteroid City. I just thought it got to be a little much with how many people were in it.
There was a lot, but I mean, I enjoyed Asteroid City. That's a top three for me. I think that's
I need to
I,
rewatch. I've only seen it the one time in theaters.
so. My main opinion about Phoenician Scheme is it's a lovely movie. Much about like familial bonds, and I mean, it's satirical and critical of capitalism and the obsession of money and licking each other, as they say, um, which is just such a way to phrase it. But I mean, you get the idea. Like, he's had all these near death experiences. Maybe it's the head trauma, but be he wants to leave something behind. I don't know what his mystical
Legacy.
project is. I still don't really understand this project. There are many things that you just
It
don't
was
understand.
a multitude of projects spread out across Phoenicia.
Yeah, it was like the creation of like their
All
infrastructure
of their infrastructure,
system.
yeah.
for 150 years.
Yeah,
Tunnels and
I don't
buildings
I don't
and
know what's happening there, but the main thing that I think he was getting at was
settle all of
kind
your arguments with a game of basketball.
that was hilarious. But I think the 150 years he wants to leave something behind, and the real thing, and it gets to all these criticisms, even back to like Citizen Kane. It's his daughter, man. That's the project. It's family. It's legacy like that, not your money.
Oh, like in
Something that
Ballerina.
he had. Yes, yeah, it ties back there too. It's all about family. Bring in Dom Toretto. But yeah, I think it's a really lovely. It's cleverly written. I love Michael Cera in almost every scene. He's fantastic. And I'm Bjorn.
The
I
double
had
agent reveal.
3 beers.
When he changes his, like, he unbuttons his shirt and his hair changes just a
I
little
start
bit.
smoking a cigarette. He's like, yeah, so I'm basically the same. Just all that other stuff was different, but I still like bugs.
And then at the end of the movie, he quits his job as a double agent to teach about bugs for real.
He is the most Wes Anderson actor I've ever seen. So I'm glad that he gets his chances
they
to
found
shine
each
here.
other.
Yeah,
I would venture a guess that he'll star in Wes's next movie.
and he's gonna be
Top billing.
a prominent role. I don't know. I mean, you have to write something for him, but yeah, I could easily see him
Yeah,
becoming a major, you know, star for him for at
the
least a
Adventures of
few.
Bjorn.
The Adventures of Yeah, I mean, you got people like Scarlett Johansson that show up for like the Venetian.
Forgot to change your name
Uh,
between the halves of the
I
episode.
didn't think. Yeah, no, that's a good one.
I
That's
got you.
that's one of your best.
Thank you.
Um,
But yeah,
yeah,
characters not showing up for that long, doing their thing. It was nice to bring them all in at the end to sort of tie it all together.
yeah,
And
I love it's Bryan Cranston and uh
Tom
Tom
Hanks.
Hanks. Yeah,
Mm.
Great chemistry together and great chemistry with our three main characters.
yeah, and Riz Ahmed. I mean, there's plenty of like people that show up for like 5 minutes and are very good,
And Riz has done a
as
couple
is the case.
Riz was in a couple of the shorts that Wes did a couple years ago.
Hmm.
He was part of that troupe.
Yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
Wes Anderson, like the other Anderson, Paul Thomas, they like a few actors. They
They
will
have
use them as many times as they
their
can
actors.
get their hands on them.
I mean, that's not to make this all about me, but that's what I've done with my first two films.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why he
Brought back
he really
actors that I
doesn't.
liked.
Well, yeah, but he doesn't even cast like the small bit parts. He does not cast like just random people or like smaller people. It's like, oh, Tom Hanks and Bryan Cranston are showing up. Oh,
Benedict
Scarlett Johansson.
Cumberbatch.
It's like just he's got a bunch of friends and he likes to put his friends in his bit parts. But yeah, I mean, this is mainly just oh god, Trapleton,
Mia Threepleton.
Trapleton,
Threapleton.
Threpleton,
Sure.
Trapleton, EI
EA.
EA. You know what? The Nun,
Liesel.
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 Eight boys
Um,
and one nun.
yeah, and I love that. Like, I mean, his whole problem is he's looking at all these people like, oh, she asks about the adoptions, and it's like, well, I'm just playing the lottery. One of these guys could turn out to be Einstein. It's like that's
The
not.
one kid.
Oh my God. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I just don't think there's as much to think about as much as Asteroid City. Some of his stuff is very weird, but he's got some deep themes. I mean, I can connect with that one much more. This one, I love the
That's
idea of
interesting.
it.
I connected with this one much more.
I don't mean connect as in like emotionally. I mean my brain connects with it.
No, I know. I was able to make more sense of this one than Asteroid City.
Well, that's probably the point, isn't it? If I'm still
Oh.
confused, I'm constantly thinking about it, trying to unravel the mystery, just like David Lynch movies. There may not be a solution, but it just makes your brain think. This one is much more of the even at the end. I mean, they're literally at a French restaurant or whatever, just making food together. Like
And
you know,
what was that card game that they were playing at the end? It's like they were playing two different games at the same time.
Go Fish, but with um real cards.
Sure.
I don't know.
It was their own card game. They made it up.
Could
I don't think we're meant to ask about it, so I'll withdraw my question.
no, there's many things that are just not meant to have answers. But
That's
it makes you think.
profound, Benjamin.
It makes you think, right? What were they playing? And then maybe you'll come up with a random card game.
They were playing the game of capitalism.
Could be.
I don't know, but I think that scene requires a deep dive where we extract everything we can find about that card game and recreate it in the aggregate.
I will leave this. I thought that the hand grenades in the fruit cart was a very clever touch in
Thank
that
you. Very kind.
did you
That
put them there?
refrain over and over again it was so funny. Again, that
But
goes back to what I was saying at the beginning about this being one of his funniest movies. You
oh
know,
yeah, well it's funny, but I also like I get the message. It's like a fruit cart. Instead of feeding people, you're killing people. That's kind of how he's been raised, how he lives his life. And at the end, his brother literally kills himself with a hand grenade. I couldn't really understand whether it was like he was having a flashback after being exposed to whatever that random aerosol was and realized that he was a terrible person, just decided to kill himself. I haven't quite figured this one out. Maybe there isn't an answer, but he did die by hand grenade.
Hmm.
which was subverted with all of the perfectly safe hand grenade transactions across the entire film to that point.
Yeah, but he literally does it himself too. It's
Oh
like
yeah, he pulls the pin and then
It
so
was
I,
bound to happen.
also, we talk about Wes's camera work and how it's one of the most unique mainstream uh, cinematography techniques that we see in film today. But there was one shot when it felt like Cumberbatch took the camera off the rig when he was running and chasing after Benicio del Toro at the end of the film. And you got this shaky cam that's sort of almost trained only on Cumberbatch. And it only lasts a couple of seconds, but it's so jarring compared to the rest of the film in terms of how the camera is positioned.
oh
But
yeah,
it works
it's
really well just
it's not when
to
he's.
convey sort of the chaos of that moment.
I don't think you're talking about the one where he's chasing him, but when he first approaches him and he says, "I've come to do it myself," and he says, "Oh yeah, yeah, I knew
Yes,
you'd come
yes, yes,
around."
yes, 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 yes,
And
yes.
it's like, "No, I've come to assassinate you myself," and he grabs him by the neck, and yeah, the camera like shakes like
Ah,
point of view.
he's got that
That's
giant
great,
pitch in the eyebrows.
and yeah, it is very like unsettling. Um, and then yeah, I mean, you sort of see him for who he is, which is the worst version of who what's his name? Zaza. What's his first name?
It's Zaza.
Zaza Corda.
Oh,
Florida.
Zaza Corda. Yeah, yeah. But he's essentially like the worst version of him. It's like everything that the Liesel thinks that he was. This is who this guy is.
And Ben, who plays Liesel?
Thripe Bolton,
Now, what's her first name?
Ilsa.
No, her name isn't Ilsa Faust, Ben.
Wait,
Elsa.
can we talk about Mission Impossible real quick?
No, what is her first name?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mia. We got the
who
last
plays a
letter.
character named Liesel.
Okay. Liesel, Mia,
Free
Elsa.
Ben.
This is what the Betsy wants.
Um, there's one more note on the Phoenician scheme. I just want to shout out Jeffrey Wright's part of the film because I thought his character of just like being a, hey man, yeah, come on, sit down. Hey, we're having a good time. Like the fact that Jeffrey Wright has become like a regular featured player in Wes Anderson's movies, Asteroid City, French Dispatch, like it's another perfect addition to his troupe. I feel like Jeffrey Wright really gets the whole Wes Anderson thing, and he just absolutely fucking shines here.
I
Yeah.
just really like Jeffrey Wright, so
Yeah, I mean, he's a great actor. And yeah,
Love
I
Jeffrey
guess
Wright. Open your
the,
eyes.
the idea is like he's the richest one, as they say. So he's just like, oh yeah, hey, what's going on? Yeah, I'll give you some blood. I'm good.
The
I
blood
got all the blood.
transfusion. I forgot about the blood transfusion.
He's like, anybody need some blood?
I think you've got enough blood.
It's great.
Oh, it
Yeah,
was a metaphor because he's got all that blood on his hands from being capitalist.
true.
yes.
Yeah, I
Literally
loved it.
he didn't get the transfusing blood as he's asking for money as well.
No,
Also,
that's clear.
yeah. Oh, I didn't realize you could do sarcasm.
After 187 episodes or whatever we've done, I'm starting to learn a little bit.
The one that I did like, which I mean it's obvious too, but I thought it was clever, the is it a deer or a goat that he brings as a sacrifice?
Dear.
Cuts it open and all the coins fall out. It's like the reverse, but it's a clever shot.
Yeah,
I thought those were
the
weird
almost
but
like
interesting.
the biblical asides were really, really fun. And that's where we got our Willem Dafoe fix and our Bill Murray fix, our F. Murray Abraham
Yeah.
fix.
The
Oh wait,
chorus,
he
right?
was too?
What? You both asked a question.
I didn't realize that F. Murray Abraham was in there. I
Oh yeah, he started the movie.
They were in like the chorus or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw F.
Yeah, a
Murray
lot of
on
people.
Broadway once. He was really good.
Did you do Amadeus?
No, it was a play with Nathan Lane, Matthew Broderick, Rupert Grint, Stockard Channing was in it. Like it was a deep cast for like a seven-person show.
I don't make me say it.
Tap the sign, Ben.
I gotta get a sign. It's not a deep cast if there's seven people.
Well, I think we've chatted a lot about Ballerina. We've chatted a lot about Wes Anderson's The Phoenician Scheme. We toss each of them a recommendation. They're good movies. Definitely check them
Absolutely.
out in a theater. You can. I'll do the same thing I did 22 minutes ago with Ballerina, and I'll say you can check out The Phoenician Scheme in movie theaters now. Go support Wes Anderson. Support your local movie theater cinema.
You can also experience it by getting on a flight right now. There's a 1 in 10 chance you will experience a plane crash.
That number
And
is
then,
that number needs to be lower, Ben.
Okay, Ben.
you can experience the thrilling feel of surviving a plane crash.
I don't think
Obviously.
the odds are 1 in 10.
Well, maybe that's exaggerating.
It
Maybe
is.
just for, for, 'Zaza.
That you don't need a maybe. 'Cause you don't need a maybe. It is. That you don't need a maybe. 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 That you don't need a
Well, it just so happens that whenever I get on planes, they keep crashing. One
It's
time I
it's all
found
the would-be assassins.
yeah, I found poison fish in my pilots.
You just do a little drop and you find out the whole thing's poisoned.
No, I just figured that they ate the fish, and then everyone else in the flight,
And
they
then you
got
just
sick.
eject.
That was hilarious that they did that twice. That was a good gag.
Yeah. Very
Again,
enjoyable.
stay safe
Very
out there.
enjoyable.
Don't get on planes with Zaza Corda.
Good advice.
Maybe
Sure.
just don't fly at all. I'm afraid of planes, guys.
That's why you said 10%. All right. Check out these two movies. And this weekend, check out the Stephen King adaptation starring Tom Hiddleston as Chuck in The Life of Chuck, which we will be talking about next week. Have a good weekend. Enjoy some good movies. We're giving you a few to consider.
Yeah, go out to the theaters, please. Support.
Do your thing. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.